Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Um, I was going to make a video for channel members, but I thought, why not make this a live? It's not going to be a long live. I'm literally going to reiterate a video that I made yesterday called Taxes, Tips, and Tricks. And I actually got a response. I got a comment from David Blanchard, and he asked me a question. I told him that I would respond in a video, but instead of making a video, I know it's early, I'm going to do a live. I'm going to answer his question right now, and then I'm going to reiterate some points I made in the video. If you happen to be up and you are in this live, please let me know and ask any questions you'd like. I'll be happy to answer them. But before we go any further, this is not financial advice. This is purely entertainment education. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a certified financial analyst. I am just a guy on YouTube talking about my specific cases through trials and errors, trials and tribulations of doing taxes all these years as a business owner, as a stock investor, as a real estate investor, as a crypto investor, so on and so forth. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, with that said, let me present the screen. So I put out a video yesterday, and this is the video right here. It literally says tax tips and tricks. And I asked people, hey, please do me a favor and ask questions. If you have a question, please ask it. If you don't ask a question, I cannot make content. So David, shout out to David, said, thanks for the video. I took a big loss on my Rivian shares to buy Palantir and SoFi in May 2023. When you do your taxes, is your losses automatically carried over into the next following year? Let's say when I file my taxes in 2025, will I have to let them know I lost so much in 2023? I've never done this tax loss harvesting before. This is a fantastic question. I'm going to answer this entire thing. First of all, what is tax loss harvesting, and why did I make this video yesterday that most people are not watching? For some reason, my channel members are not watching channel member videos, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it is what it is. There's something called tax loss harvesting, and you could do it at any point in time up until December 31st. So you have about a month and a half or so left of this year to look into what you want to do. Tax loss harvesting is when you take a paper loss and you make it into a realized loss. What exactly does that mean? Let's say you buy something for $1,000. You bought Palantir. No, let's not use Palantir. Let's say you buy, let's take Rivian. Let's say you buy $1,000 worth of Rivian in May, and then in July, your $1,000 worth of Rivian is $500. You lost 50% value. If you don't sell your Rivian shares, this is called a paper loss. The second you sell your shares, this is called a realized loss. So what people do towards the end of the year is the stocks that they lost money on, they sell to offset gains on other stocks. So you have paper losses, you have paper gains. So people will sell a stock that they're down on, and sometimes they'll sell a stock that they're up on, and they're going to offset each other. When you do that, this is called tax loss harvesting. Now, when it comes to crypto and stocks, you could do tax loss harvesting, but it's two different rules. For stocks, there's something called a wash rule, which means you got to wait 31 days to rebuy the stock. If you don't wait 31 days to rebuy the stock that you're trying to make a paper loss into a realized loss, the tax loss harvesting doesn't work. You can't do that. You have to wait 31 days, not 30, 31. On the 31st day, you can rebuy, and then you can offset those losses. Now that we know what tax loss harvesting is, we know what the wash rule is, we know what paper losses, paper gains are, and now we know what realized losses and realized gains are. How does this work? So David says that he has a big loss on his Rivian and SoFi in May of 2023. What does he do? It's very simple. When you by the way, there's no wash rule for crypto. You can buy, sell, trade, swap for different cryptos literally within a minute, and you get the loss. When you file your taxes, your tax accountant will say, do you have any brokerage accounts? That's what they're going to say. And do you have any crypto accounts? That's what they're going to say. You're going to say yes. You're going to give them something called a 1099B. A 1099B. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay? A 1099B is what shows, this is what it looks like, guys. This is a 1099B. This is a 1099B right here. That's what it looks like. 1099B. And 1099B is given to you by your brokerage for equities or from your crypto brokerage. And it already calculates any gains or losses, short-term or long-term gains or losses. Okay? So what you're going to have to do is, when you're going to be filing your taxes in 2023, tell your accountant that you have a 1099B. Where do you get a 1099B? Just go into your brokerage account, and there's going to be a little thing to click for documents. And under documents, there's going to be a drop-down menu, and they're going to say tax documents. That tax document is going to be called a 1099B. You give this to your accountant. What's going to happen is this. If you have a loss, let's just use the loss of $5,000, for example, okay? So I'm sorry, guys. Let me turn off my my sound. If you have a loss of $5,000, all right? If you have a loss of $5,000, you give that to your accountant. Let's say in 2023, you made $5,000 on Palantir. You lost $5,000 on Rivian. It's a wash. And you don't have to pay taxes on your gains because you offset it with your losses. But let's say you lost $5,000 in Rivian, you don't sell your Palantir, and then in 2023 you do your taxes, and you don't sell anything. So now you have a $5,000 loss. What happens? $3,000 you can offset against your regular salary every single year. So let's say you make $100,000 a year, you can offset $3,000 off that 100 grand, and you pay taxes on $97,000 instead of $100,000. You can do the same thing the following year. And the following and the following. Depends on how much losses you have. In this case, since you have 5,000, you would be able to take 3,000 off, and then the next year another 2,000. If you make gains at any point, let's say you lost 5,000 in Rivian, and in 2023 you made $100,000 in Palantir, for example. Instead of paying taxes on $100,000 of capital gains, you will only be paying taxes on $95,000 capital gains because you're offsetting the $100,000 that you made with the $5,000 that you lost. The rule, to make it quite simple, is you can offset up to $3,000 off of your regular income every single year in perpetuity until you make some gains to offset the total amount of losses. Does that make sense? There's also something called short-term and long-term capital gains. So I'm going to assume you're in a, forget about state taxes, okay? There's 9 states that have no state taxes, and there's 41 states that have state taxes. So I'm not going to talk about state taxes. But in federal taxes, you're in a tax bracket. Most people are between 10 and 37%. When you hold a stock for long-term, this means 366 days or more than a year. 365 days or less is short-term capital gains. Short-term capital gains, very simply, is you have to pay taxes on any money that you made on your crypto, on your real estate, on your precious metals, on your equities, anything that accrues capital gains. Short-term capital gains would be against your regular tax bracket. So if you're paying 10% or 37%, you're going to pay 10% or 37% on anything that you hold less than a year. If you hold for more than a year, they give you a tax benefit. The tax benefit is a capital gains long-term tax benefit, which says that if you make it, the threshold is like 44,000 and change. If you made less than that in the year, then you pay $0 in taxes for long-term capital gains. If you make more than like 44,000, I think it's like 44,300 something, whatever, something like this, then you're going to be paying 15%. And if you're making more than like 400 something thousand, I forgot the numbers off the top of my head, you're going to be paying 20%, which is still a lot cheaper than 37%. Also, depending on your marital status, if you're single, if you have children, if you claim a dependent, or you're married and file separately, between $125,000 and $250,000, you're going to have to pay an Obama tax of 3.8%. So there's a huge benefit regardless if you keep for long-term capital gains. Again, I wanted to stress and reiterate, I am not a professional. I am not an accountant. I am literally just a person on YouTube giving you my own personal cases of what I had to do with taxes. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, but definitely consult with a licensed professional if you have any more questions. Now, I think I did a really good job speaking to David, and I hope that this somehow answers your questions. Now, I don't think I have anybody in the live. Let me check because it doesn't show me if I have somebody here. Let me see. So I don't think I have anybody in here. Yeah, so I don't have anybody in here right now. And this live has been going for around 11 minutes. I think I answered everybody's questions. Remember, you can file taxes up until the end of the year. And these are things that rich people do. This is things that wealthy people do. So there's levels of being rich. Poor people, and I don't mean any derogatory or discriminatory or anything disrespectful terms, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. People that have no financial education don't know about tax loopholes. They don't know how to use tax code for their advantages. And because of that, they don't know about things like tax loss harvesting or the wash rule. Nobody knows about these things. People don't know about opening up a IRA, a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, 401ks. People don't know any of these tax laws. And they're 100% legal. They're not slimy or scumbaggish. They're 100% legal. And this is what rich people do. Because rich people wrote the tax code to try to keep as much money as possible. So it goes from somebody that doesn't know anything to somebody that knows the basics. And it's a huge, huge disparity. And then when you become really, really wealthy, you don't even use these tax codes. You start investing into real estate and you start borrowing against your equity. So you never actually pay taxes because you never actually have to sell your stocks. But that's a completely different video. Guys, let me know in the comments down below if this helps you in any way, shape, or form. I don't mind doing this as much as I need to. I love making content for my channel members. You guys give me $3 a month, and I want to make sure you guys get your money's worth. But it's really hard for me to make content because I don't know what you guys want to see. So I don't want to make content about just Palantir or SoFi or things like that because it doesn't really give you value. I make all that content on my regular channel. I want to give you actual value. The type of shit that most people don't care about on YouTube. It's crazy. So if you guys have actual questions about actual wealth building, whether it's crypto, stocks, real estate, or even business questions, I'll be happy to give you my own personal experiences because I cannot give advice, and this is not advice. Consult a professional if you have any further questions. And I want to stress one more time, this is not advice. I'm not qualified to give advice, and you shouldn't listen to me. This should just literally be a stepping stone for you to do your own research and hire an accountant. Everybody should have a good accountant. A good accountant is worth their weight in gold. I highly suggest you have a specialized accountant and don't use firms like chop shops like H&R Block and TurboTax, things like that. Have a good accountant. Now, if you don't have your own business, all these things don't matter as much. But if you have your own business and you're not using a specialized accountant, this is bad. And if you're investing heavy money and you don't have a specialized accountant, this is bad. If you're in real estate and you don't have a specialized accountant, this is bad. If you have basic taxes, I guess H&R Block, TurboTaxes, and all of those other shops are good because they don't really do anything for you. That's about it. If anybody has any questions, please ask me down below. It's been like 15 minutes now. Nobody's coming on this live. I understand that it's 10 a.m. I would hope that I would get some people on the live because I really want to help people. But this live is going to be up. I'm actually going to put it up as a video as well. Hopefully people are going to realize what I say and watch this. David, I hope I answered your question. If you have any other questions, anybody has any other questions, please, please, please ask me in the comments down below. Thank you. And thank you for all your support. And thank you for your $3. Have a great day.